This grandmother is being investigated for potentially causing the death of 2 kids. This is one of the creepiest stories I've ever seen. I've formed like a bunch of theories in my head and I don't know what's correct and I need your help. Basically, this mom and dad lost their first child to drowning in the pool in their grandmother's house. Initially, everybody thought it was an accident. This grandmom was just negligent, maybe she wasn't paying attention, and she really regrets it. It was all an accident. And then mysteriously, just a year later, their second kid also mysteriously dies after being left in the car by the same grandmother. Now, the grandmother is claiming that it's just another accident, right? She didn't know what was going on. Oh my god, I accidentally left the baby in the hot car that caused them to die. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm buying it this time because you don't really make a life-threatening mistake twice. I feel like the probabilities of that happening is so low that it's more likely that this grandma is just evil.
These parents have lived through a double tragedy.
It was the very worst moment, I think, until the next worst moment.
First, their 18-month-old son Ezra drowned in a pond at his grandmother's house. Then, to compound their loss, less than a year later, their 8-month-old daughter lost her life after being left in a hot car for hours. And they're blaming both deaths on this woman, the grandmother.
Okay, so basically these parents left their first child in the care of their grandmother, right? Because it's the mom's mother and obviously she can be trusted, right? Then, out of completely nowhere, the child just drowns in their pool left at their grandmother's house. I imagine at this point, the grandmother is really sobbing. She's just like, I can't believe this happened. I will never do that again. You can totally trust me with your next child. Now, here's where the story gets much and much deeper. And I honestly have a very disturbing theory. I want your guys' thoughts on it. Okay, for starters, I can't put the blame only on the grandma. First off, the first child, that's acceptable, okay? It might have been negligence. Everybody makes mistakes, okay? Even life-threatening ones. It's not very likely, but it does happen. Either number one, the grandma is actually evil and she's doing it on purpose, which is horrible to think about. Or number two, it was actually an accident. This is for the first time, right? Now, the story really baffles me when you realize that the parents thought it would be perfectly okay to give their second child to their grandmother to take care of after the first child already died in her care. I don't know what kind of lunatic couple is this incredibly trusting and gullible, because if my baby, you know, dies in the care of my grandma, I am never talking to my grandma ever again. She is no longer my grandma. She is completely disowned. I don't care if it is a accident. I don't care how it happened. If you actually resulted in the death of my child, I am not talking to you ever again. I will probably try to get you arrested. And then after this happened and it was confirmed the baby died in the grandmother's care and in their presence, why would you let her handle your second child? Are you fucking kidding me? You're literally asking for it to happen again, and it did. Now the story gets even crazier when you realize that the grandmom was actually a retired school principal.
Parents Kayla and Drew felt good about leaving their son with Kayla's mom. After all, she was a well-respected retired school principal.
The children absolutely loved it there.
But 2 days before Christmas 2021, Grandmom Tracy Nix fell asleep on her couch. Somehow, 18-month-old Ezra got out of her house. He was found face down in the pond on their property.
911, where is your emergency?
That's a little baby. The grandmother's out giving him CP. Is he breathing? No.
Here's Ann Mercogliano.
The grieving parents did forgive the grandmom, believing the drowning of their son was a tragic accident. You trusted her. She's your mother.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as a retired school principal, there's absolutely no shot that you don't know how much care the children actually need. Now, you can make a bunch of arguments here. Okay, she's a principal. She's obviously dealing with older kids, right? So she might not be familiar with how to take care of a baby, which makes completely no sense considering she probably raised the mom. You cannot honestly tell me that somebody who has fully raised a child in the past has just forgotten everything about parenting, you know? Now, here's one of my theories. I suspect that this is one of those extremely evil principals who only chose that profession to have close contact with children and make their lives miserable. I would genuinely, after these 2 deaths, which were caused by her, genuinely investigate her previous career as a school principal and genuinely investigate any sort of random injuries that children in that school might have gotten after visiting the principal's office, or mental trauma, or any odd cases of behavior in that school. I genuinely think this is a sadistic person, just resentful of children entirely. Maybe she has some suppressed trauma from her childhood or some sort of bitterness. Maybe the school children didn't respect her. That this is a common story where children don't treat you that well and you feel the need to take it out on other people. This is like a common pattern of behavior in these sort of abusers. Listen, at worst, we're dealing with a bunch of evil people, and at best, we're dealing with a bunch of horribly negligent people who have literally resulted in the loss of 2 full lives.
In their grief, a time of joy. 3 months after Ezra drowned, Kayla gave birth to their daughter Yuri. They even let grandmom babysit again.
And here's where the story takes a heartbreaking turn when the unthinkable happens.
Tracy Nix went to lunch with her girlfriends. She took baby Yuri with her. When she returned home, she went inside to practice the piano, forgetting that she had left Yuri in the car seat. Several hours passed. Then she realized her horrifying mistake. She ran to her car, but it was too late. She found the baby dead in the scorching vehicle.
And I'm having deja vu right when I'm pulling up, because I'm seeing the exact same scene that I seen when I pulled up with Ezra. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I never in a million years would have thought again.
Why would you think it wouldn't happen again? You literally left your kids with your fucking insane grandma. I don't care if she's getting old or she's forgetting things. She's literally causing the death of people. At that point, you have to investigate. It's completely insane. I don't know how you could possibly trust someone after that. I'd lend someone a textbook, and if they don't return it, I will never lend them anything ever again. Okay, that's one of my policies, right? If you don't return the previous book, or if you don't return something I lent you before, why would I lend you something again? Because you're just not gonna, you've not built up any trust with me. And you've done this with a baby. Are you kidding me? What the fuck is wrong with this family, dude? I don't believe for a second grandma's just forgetting babies in a hot car, bro. What? She needs to be charged with murder. This is just absolutely unacceptable.
They told me that my baby was dead.
Did you just go into complete shock? I mean, the pain must have been unbearable.
Absolutely. I absolutely remember
I called Kayla
fully
after that,
putting my phone down and screaming.
Now, grandmother Tracy Nix has been arrested, charged with aggravated manslaughter in the death of baby Yuri. Kayla has not spoken to her mom since the day her second baby died.
To know that ultimately the person that brought me into the world is the person that destroyed his world, my son. That's just unbearable.
Yeah, your mom is completely batshit insane. I genuinely do not trust anybody from this family at all. What horrible, disgusting negligence on the part of literally everybody involved. These people should honestly not be having kids, and heaven forbid you have a third. They need to be confiscated immediately. Child Protective Services needs to step in because you cannot be trusted. You will probably bail the grandma out of prison and give her your third child to take care of. Like, ridiculous. Not to mention that grandma definitely has that serial killer look. She's like the type of grandma to pinch my cheeks extra hard if the parents aren't looking. You know, accidentally poke out my eyeballs with a pencil. Like, oh, I was just playing with Timmy and wow, he just had a knife in his hand and oh, whoops, whoopsie daisy.
Attorneys for Tracy Nix say she is devastated by the loss of her grandchildren.
You always hear people getting struck by lightning twice, people win the lottery even twice. I mean, here you have the lottery of tragedy and, it's hit twice. I mean, it's one of the most unfortunate things I've ever heard of, and our heart absolutely, goes out to that family.
But this isn't luck at all. Like, the first time, maybe. The average human being does not get struck by lightning twice. No. This is absolutely and completely planned. That grandma needs to be kept an eye on for eternity, okay? She cannot be allowed in a 50-mile radius of any children.
On social media, the tragedy is sparking lots of questions. Why on earth would parents leave another child in her care?
Of course we're aware of the comments being said. Of course I have read really difficult things. And we're human. We feel that.
The grieving parents say they want justice, even if it means sending grandmom to jail.
What do you think should happen to your mom?
I do think that she should be criminally charged. I think that she should be criminally punished.
I'm half expecting her last statement is just 1 year is enough. She can handle my kids after that. Listen, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm just wrong about everything. Maybe this was a genuine accident by the grandma twice. This is the type of situation that just doesn't happen. Remember when Dream cheated and the odds were like 1 in 7 trillion and everybody was like, oh, well, it can happen. Maybe he's just unlucky. 1 year later, Dream admits he actually did it and everybody's like, oh, okay. Probabilities like that just don't happen, right? Same thing here. I don't care what career you're working, how fucking busy you are, but take care of your own goddamn child and stop giving it to your devilish grandma. What a wild story. Click this video or, I don't know, you spend 50 nights with a grandma, okay?